Good morning and thank you very much for joining us. I am Yori Folari. Hope you had a great weekend and are ready to take on the new week. Okay, let's look at electoral reforms because that's a matter in progress. And let's look at some of the gray areas. The latest version, because it's been a continuously amended document. And today we have Honorable Adebayo Olusegun Balogun. He's chair of the House Committee on Electoral Matters. And I want to thank you very, very much, Honorable, for coming on.
Good morning.
This is an area that you are deeply interested in. In fact, the reputation goes before you that when it comes to electoral matters, you know, you're one of the hardest working men in the National Assembly. So thank you very much. There's so many aspects to it. Maybe what we will do is that since you have an overview of it, I'll just take some of the areas that we think of as gray and you sort of pour light on it. Early voting and something like inmate voting, for instance. If we were to start on that, is that in the realm of possibility? Early voting in Nigeria?
Well, these are part of the areas we are looking at when it comes to inclusion. We've been able to pass the bill for the gender bill to give women special seats, which I believe by the time we go for the third reading, and it will say
we're at the second reading stage now.
No, the one for the gender.
Okay, the one for the gender.
It hasn't gone for the public hearing.
Yes.
That's a constitutional amendment, although it's an electoral matter, but it requires some constitutional amendment, which we have actually passed. And part of the inclusion is also to ensure that nobody should be discriminated against in respect of gender, class, and whatever. So when you're talking about inmates, these are people in incarceration. There's no part of the Constitution that says they should not be able to vote. The only issue is that if you are convicted, you should not be able to be voted for, but not that you should be restricted from voting. So no part of the Constitution says
that a convict cannot vote.
Yes, there's no part of the Constitution that says that a convict or ex-convict or an inmate or awaiting trial cannot vote. And this has been tested by, being taken to court, and it was actually given a clean bill that they should, and provision should be made. And I think what we're now trying to do, we've started having meetings with the CG of the Correctional Center so that we can start looking at how to implement it in the long run. How polling units will be created within the correctional facilities. So that's one. And when it comes to early voting is for essential workers, people like you. Many people in the media have never voted because they are usually on essential services.
That's right.
On the day of election. People in the media, security personnel, staff of INEC, both permanent and ad hoc staff, and the observers, domestic observers, accredited domestic observers. Most of them have not been able to vote. And these are highly informed set of people who have been denied. And sometimes it runs into millions. And the last election, I don't think the gap between the winner and the first runner was even up to 1 million. So if such people are able to vote, probably they would have been able to add value to the system. So we are looking at a situation where, like 2 weeks before the election, like done in some other countries, you'll be able to do your voting early so that on the day of election, you can do your major activities. So that's what we are looking at. And we've had various meetings with stakeholders to that effect. And actually, we believe it's very doable.
Okay,
that's that's on the early voting and inmate voting. So we also look at areas like the problems we've been having with PVCs. Most of the time, people cannot get their PVC. You get your PVC lost, it becomes a problem. Even when it's printed, most of the time they are there and nobody to collect them.
That's right.
And once it's few days to a particular number of days to election, you can no longer collect. So this has been major problem for INEC. So we are looking at then what's the use of PVC now? The card was useful when we are using the card reader, because the microchip in it is what the card reader will read. But with the use of beavers, all you need to go there is any form of identification, show them I am Adebayo Balogun, they put in Adebayo Balogun, my information comes out. Then to tell them that, to be sure that I'm the person who is behind that name, then I put my biometrics, either by my fingers or by the facial recognition. The computer says, yes, I'm cleared or not. So process of accreditation has now become digital. So you don't really need the card again. So any form of identification will do. So we're looking at a situation where you can just download your card from the website of INEC. You can just go there, download your card, so that at least you have something to show them. So that will reduce this crisis of collection and replacement of PVCs.
What you're telling us is in the nature of a sort of a progress report on work.
Yes.
On the electoral bill.
Yeah. Because these are the areas that we are actually looking at, because there's been this error when we're talking about the process of making bills. Now that we are going to public hearing, people should be talking to the issues that has gone through the second reading. This is no time you start bringing in fresh issues. When you go for public hearing, you are supposed to be talking about, okay, these are the provisions, these are the areas we are amending. What do you see to it? Is it okay? Do you want to further amend it? So that by the time we go for third reading and consideration, it is those opinions that we gather that will form what we will be voting, our voting pattern. Because we are voting on your behalf. We are 360 members are representing the whole country. So once we are sitting, it is Nigerians that are sitting.
Because you are
so if we don't get your opinion before we get there, that means we are not giving the right position of Nigerians. So that is why it's important that people know what to be discussed. These are the issues that on the front burner, so that people will discuss specifically now. We have gone through the second reading already. So people should not bring issues, new issues. Talk about the ones that are on the front burner, because those are the ones you are going to vote.
Yeah. Okay, you have,
when we get to the House.
You know, you have a procedure as a legislature. There are rules of the House, rules of engagement. So you're saying that the public itself needs to
be informed.
Yes. About these matters. We've passed the second reading stage, right? Now, this gives me an opportunity to say that maybe you could do a simplified version of what it takes to pass a bill.
Okay. When we started this amendment of the Electoral Act, we started moving from different zones around the country, and we also invited people to send in memorandum of what they feel on issues where they feel should be amended.
Yes.
So we started.
What was the reception to that? Did you get a deluge of information?
Yes. All the bills, all the amendments we put together now were based on the memorandum we collected from various sectors, youth groups, women groups, professional groups, even the people, IPAC, that's the body representing the political party, were there, Nigerian Bar Association, the Association of Litigation Lawyers, lawyers that are usually involved in litigation, electoral act litigation and electoral matter litigation. You see, even the judges of the Court of Appeal were all invited, so that people should give us
and
insights.
All of these made meaningful contributions.
Yes. That's why we were able to get some of these issues together. And that's why we tell some people, you see, at the time when you ask for a memorandum, people should bring in issues, not just going on social media and just be castigating and saying things. Their procedure, sending information to the right quarters so that people will look at it. Then the bills will be formed out of such memos because you can just say it the way you see
all
it,
that
the way you say it. Yes,
will now
because as ordinary Nigerian, you just tell me we want this, but we will now put them together, call our legislative drafters. They are the ones that will now draft it into bills, which will now be presented on the floor of the House.
So the process is the
collation of memorandum around the country. Then we'll go for first and second reading.
Yes.
Then it goes back to the committee. They'll review again. Then go for public hearing. After the public hearing,
what happens at the public hearing?
These are where Nigerians will now look at them, look at those issues.
Nigerians that happen to be in attendance.
Yes, because when you go for public hearing, you are supposed to bring people from various sectors, and they must be stakeholders. People who understand the issues you are talking about. We are talking about medical issues. You must bring in doctors, nurses, various associations that got to do with the topic at hand, because it will make no sense if you are calling people who does not even know what you are even discussing, and who the issue does not even affect. So you must look at the specific stakeholders within the sectors.
But in this case, most people are affected when we're talking about an electoral.
Most people are affected, but many people don't even know what it's all about. Okay. When we are talking about electoral matters, you bring in IPAC, you bring in social, civil societies, you bring in MBA, you bring in people that has direct effect on the issues. Yes, general Nigerians will too be there, because we bring in various gender and age groups, youth association, women association, and all of them are also represented by various CSOs that will actually come around and make contributions. So by the time you go for the go back to the House with for the consideration of the bill, then we do the third reading. After the third reading, if you have a nod of the House, then it goes for the President's assent. So now we are about to start the public hearing. Okay. So it is very important for us to let Nigerians know what we are taking out for public hearing, so that you can prepare yourself whenever you call for the public hearing. We want to create a situation where we want to even design questionnaires that will contain all these issues. Okay. Some might be online, some might be hard copy given at the center, so that people will see before time what they are even going to be what is going to be discussed.
To make it as seamless as possible for people whose contribution is important, so that all these questionnaires will just make it very easy.
And because the questionnaires will be based on the specific. These are the main issues in the amendments. Oh, are you okay with this? Are you okay with this? No, we don't want this. We don't want this. By the time we see the pattern of the vote from Nigerians, that will guide what we are also going to vote for.
What is the time frame that we're talking about?
We intend to get the President's assent by October.
Oh.
Yeah.
So
because primaries of the 2027 election is next year. The party primaries will be early next year.
No time to lose at all.
Yes.
Okay. Now, we've looked at early voting, inmate voting, eradication of PVC, because as you explained, we have to be quite careful about, insisting on that. After all, at the end of the day, it's just the chip that is needed, and there can be problems. Now, regulation of political party primaries.
That is I can say, the most important part of the amendment, because most issues that goes to the court are usually pre-election matters. Qualification, either you are qualified or not qualified. There are irregularities during the primaries. Maybe a candidate is duly nominated or not duly nominated, and you find a case where even you've won the election, only for you to lose it due to pre-election matters. Yeah. That are passed, like what happened in Plateau. It happened in Zamfara during the 2019 election. It could be very painful. The one of the governorship election in Bayelsa, when the governor was about to be sworn in the second day, only for him to lose the election due based on the pre-election matters. That does not even affect him directly.
Okay.
It was the deputy.
Okay.
So we are trying to ensure that all these issues are
really
really
barest minimum,
yes,
if at all, still existing.
If it's going to exist at all, to be barest minimum.
Okay. Well, somebody has
there will be clarity
okay.
in your process.
Okay. I've been holding someone up. Good morning, Mr. George, and thank you very much for holding on. Go ahead now, please. Good morning, Mr. George. We can take you now. George calling in from Ikeja. Good Hello. Morning. Aha, yep. Okay, go ahead, please.
Good morning. Can you hear me, please?
Yes, we can hear you now. Good morning.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Yes.
Okay. I greet your guest as well. Okay, thank you very much for bringing in this lawmaker who is directly in charge of the matter.
Yes, thank you.
First of all, I want to congratulate the winners of yesterday's by-elections.
Okay.
I told you before that this association of the state politicians, it will fall like a pack of cards. That's what is happening. But that's not the subject of I'm concerned in 3 areas about this proposed bill.
Okay.
One is
right of
sentenced to an imprisonment term. This is right to all other freedoms. That's what the law says. If prison term, chances are that you are not happy with whoever is in government or proposing to come to government. So that biased mind, if you are given an opportunity to vote, you are going to vote against those that are in government. For me, the right to vote should only be restored when they come back to circulation in the society. Not being punished for an offense they committed at a time they are not allowed to. So I heard that they are proposing to hold all elections in one day.
Oh yeah, we'll come to that. Yes, you're right. But
that's also part of
judging from past experiences.
Yes.
The presidential election and the national in one day, errors can come from there. Then the governorship
I think I can get it.
We get you, but the line sort of petered out. Thank you very much for calling in. Yeah. Maybe you can leave the that other
I get
one.
it too. I can get it.
Okay.
Yeah, the one on the inmates. You see, when we're having discussion with the controller of correctional center, he was so happy. He said, at least with this bill, that means people will care about what happens to the inmates, because every party will want to come and campaign. Although we are talking about how do you even campaign when it comes to such situation. Would you allow political parties to be coming in anyhow? But we agree that at least there should be virtual form of campaign. That means there must be television in the correctional centers now. That much must be provided for them to at least listen. Maybe a particular time will be given to them to come and listen to various campaigns and all the stuff. That means people will not be interested.
This is
because
in
there was a time
with other areas of the world.
Yes, because you are Nigerians. You are Nigerians. Incarceration does not make you less a Nigerian. In fact, there was a time we are going through the budget of the correctional centers. We find out that dogs, the allocation, the daily allowance for feeding of dogs is higher than what is used to feed the inmates. Their dogs, the dogs used in the correctional centers get more in terms of feeding allowance than even the humans.
Okay, one moment, Honorable. Just hold this. I know that you still had more to say on that, but in the meantime, Ada in Jos has called in. Good morning, Ada. Thank you for calling in.
Hello.
Hello. Good morning, Ada. Good morning.
Hello.
Good morning.
Hello. Good morning. Please go ahead. Speak. Go ahead, please.
Hello. Yes. Good morning.
Good morning.
And your guest there, It's Ada calling from the state. Very interesting topic. That of the prisoners, I have my reservations about that. Please, people should just keep that one on hold for now. There are more important things to talk about. There are so many people who have voters' cards, and they are not allowed to even vote because of pronouncements made by overzealous politicians who feel that they are not going to vote for their own person. Why don't people deal with that first? So we are also prisoners. We are outside the prison, but we cannot even vote. Yet we have voters' cards. Why? Because we're not allowed to vote. You make pronouncements, you're not supposed to come and vote. If you do anyhow, you will see anyhow. It happened in the last election. Nobody has addressed that. So let's be thing. If it is that of all elections to be held in one day, it's better. It's even more economical. Then it will save time. And then if people are going to suffer, let us suffer that one day. Have all elections. Just an addition of two more voting for or three. That is all. That's the way. Then another one is defections. Please, people should do something about defections. Remove that clause that says that people can defect, electors can defect if there's a crisis in the party. You can defect, but that is the automatic. You lose your your seat. So that will bring some sanity. The way we're going now, it's not a question of the party involved or whatever. It's making a mockery of our democracy. That will check defections. Let them defect, but let it not be tied to crisis. Whether crisis or no crisis, you lose your seat. Period. So,
all right.
We're not.
Madam, may I ask you?
That's what
You
I'm
feel
that
so
one,
far.
okay, if it is possible to do that. That one, I support that one, Then the seats for women, reserving seats, that's the only way we can, step up the women participation in politics in Nigeria. All the same, let's not give Nigeria all Gadima.
Okay, then. Thank you very much,
Okay,
Ada.
the one on deception, when you defect, the issue is like, we should stop talking over the social media, the radio, and you take action. Take action by presenting a memo on the issue. And it's not just about what you feel, it's about what Nigerian feels. If 20% feel I don't like it and 80% feel we love it, then it is about majority. And this is an issue for IPAC, the body representing the political parties, because it's the parties that are losing seats or gaining seats. They don't feel. They were the one that even put that clause during the previous amendment, because there could be issues within your party.
IPAC is an acronym for what?
Yeah,
Independent.
Inter-party.
Okay.
Inter-party.
So it's
the body for the political parties.
Okay.
All of them put together.
So they are the people who actually brought up the whole matter.
Yes, because they are the one that will say we want it or we don't want it again. So it's just about them. That's why we should look at who are the concerned stakeholders. So now we've discussed this with them, and they felt it should still be there, because you might have some issues within your party. Sometimes maybe a governor don't want you to get a ticket, and then they have crisis within their state. It's like what is happening in some of these parties now. It's not because of your own fault that your party is going broken down. So it's not your personal problem, and you cannot stay in a party that is sinking. Then you need to go and look for another party. A situation where a political party does not even have a known president, chairman or secretary, and by the time you are going for nomination, these two people have to sign your nomination paper. And if a wrong chairman signs your wrong nomination paper, you'll be disqualified. So such a person will never stay.
Okay, let me bring in Kesandu, who has called in from Owerri. Good morning, Kesandu.
Uncle Yori, good morning to you.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. No.
Thank you very much.
I think we all agree that the panacea to a very responsible society and a progressive society is to have a free, fair, and to a reasonable extent a credible election, which we have not seen in Nigeria, at least the last two elections. It is so sudden and unfortunate. And that is why most times when some members of National Assembly speak at some point, they're like, some of you took part in this election. You should all understand. I ran for the last House of Reps election under YPP in my federal constituency. And even as a candidate of that election, materials arrived in my ward around after 4 p.m. I am not missing words. Go and verify this thing I'm saying. So please, another issue we had in the last election was this electronic transmission of results, because we are saying that for us to have the kind of governance we deserve as a people in Nigeria, you must give us a credible election to a reasonable extent. I said that electronic transmission after the INEC chairman said whatever he said. These are things we want to see that will be enshrined in our both the Constitution or Electoral Act or law, whatever you call it, so that it will not be an issue again for us. Somebody will not say the server has been down. We don't want what happened in the last election to repeat itself again. Nigerians are no longer comfortable about it. So these pertinent issues of coming to elections late, what happens to those areas? These are issues, and if it will be addressed, we will have credible elections in 2020. Nigeria is very important. God bless Nigeria.
Thank you very much,
Let me conclude with the one from the previous caller. The issue of image voting, when she said it's not about image they are talking about. And every image is a Nigerian. They have their rights. You don't say
she said she had her reservations about
that. I'm just telling her to now. Every Nigerian has their rights. You must take care of every Nigerian. So it's not just about, because they are in incarceration, they should be left not to have a voice. So we should look at everybody.
Are there not some jurisdictions where a convicted felon loses his right to vote?
No. Check the Constitution. There's nothing like that in the Constitution.
In our Constitution,
I'm talking about
like
there's nothing like that. The only area it affects is if you are convicted, you cannot be voted for. And that will last for 10 years.
Okay.
After 10 years, you can contest an election.
Okay. Okay.
So we should be clear, and we should, you see, sentiment should be removed when it comes to law. It's about what is the position of the law. And if you are not okay with the position of the law, move for an amendment. Not about issue of we don't like, we like. If it is immoral or illegal, those are the issues we can be talking about. But something that is not in the law, nobody can introduce it. Don't feel because, no, it shouldn't be like this. Okay. It's not about what you feel, it's about what the law says.
All right.
And when you go to court, they tell you based on the facts before me, not because of what really happened. It must be by the law. And I think the last caller spoke about generally on elections. You see, I don't know why people have been harping on the issue of transmit or don't transmit. But what we have done for them at the end of the day is amend section 50, section 55, which spoke about the transmission of results. So what we've done now is that at least every result would, let me see if I have it in here. But what we've done is to make it explicit, because there's part of the section that says the results shall be transferred, which some people said, well, transfer might not be transmitted, blah, blah, blah. But we said, okay, we have now amended it to now state the results, which will also include the number of accreditation in the area will be transmitted to the next level of coalition, both electronically and manually. Okay. So as you are sending it to the IRF, you're also taking your hard copy, because what you are to the next level of coalition, because what we've just done, because I don't see how that really affected the results. Okay. Because what we've just done was to snap the result to send. But every party still have a copy of the result.
Okay. Everybody is interested in this subject matter, talking about, reviewing the Electoral Act. So the latest, I think it goes back to around July or so. This latest iteration of the Electoral Act.
It's still on.
It's still on.
By the time we finish it by October, so it will be 2025.
Okay. Mazi Okorafor, good morning to you, sir.
Good morning, Sayori. Good morning, our guests. Honest speaking, Sayori. Mazi Okorafor from Arusuku. The major thing we should be looking at is this reform of gray area and not gray area. Voters' apathy is what we have to look into. All this, even the one we are talking, even this vote buying and the voter apathy, these two major things is what is creating more problem and more complexity in Nigeria. Because in Nigeria today, if anyone loses election, either local government or state or national, you say, we meet in the court. As if it goes to the court now, he's going to give me all the voters. The voter apathy is a major problem. Now look at the country. Half of Nigerians don't come out to vote. What is the problem? This is what INEC, National Assembly, federal government That's what the electoral agency should be looking into. What do we do so that during the election, at least 3/4 of the people will come out and vote? But this one, not up to 1/4 of the people that registered. Does it make sense? It doesn't make sense. You see how many billions upon billions being injected during the election. What do we do? And this issue of you come to a state, that particular party must win, both whether landslide or not landslide. Another one will come in, the one that is coming, maybe the opposition party, it didn't win very well. He said they have rigged the election. But if the opposition party win very well, there was no rigging. That is Nigeria for further. So that is the Nigerian electorate, Nigerian politicians, they should have what we call spirit of sportsmanship. If you win, fine and good. If you lose, fine and good. Not a question of coming to carry your money, hire Sam, hire new lawyer, hire Sarabella, everything to come and defend that. That money you are using, you could have pocketed the money, wait for the next election so that you use it and do your. So from that and start preparing for the next one. It will help us. But in a situation whereby every day litigation, at the end of the day, if the court brings something that's not right, you see that people shouting, the court is ready. Honestly speaking, our politicians should learn that spirit of statesmanship. It will help us. You see,
and sort of good sportsmanship. I hear what you're saying.
Mazi, you see, there are some people, there are some issues that does not even concern the law. It's about us as Nigerians. This is not even about Nigerians alone. I mean, politicians alone. It's every one of us. You go to court over every issue. And even if you lose, even if you are fighting over land cases, you go to court. Issues that previously used to be settled by community leaders. Everything now you take to court. And the lawyers too always encourage their clients. And that's one of the reasons you will see part of our issues, one of the areas we are putting an amendment on is to increase the fines for people bringing in frivolous cases. Even cases that you know that are not even in the law, you bring it, you waste the time of the court. Even when you lose, you go for appeal. Push it up to Supreme Court if possible. And these are, it's like, probably it's in our DNA to continue. So it's not about politicians, it's about every one of us to make it. You cannot legislate everything.
So one of the things you're working on also is...
And if you try to stop them, they tell you have the constitutional rights.
The imposition of fines for once a judge pronounces a case frivolous.
Yes.
Okay.
You'll be fined and your lawyer will be fined.
Okay.
Because most of the lawyers, especially when it comes to electoral matters, is a very lucrative way of getting your son. Because you can win, it's not even about winning, it's about participating. If you're able to put in your CV 10, 20 electoral cases, either you win or you lose. Even some of them do pro bono, free of charge, to make sure, let me take you on this case. And when you are not paying anything, you just encourage.
And somehow all of this adds up.
And that's one of the reasons why you cannot even finish our litigation before.
So some lawyers can actually pursue the senior advocate route
through it
via these devices.
They gather their CV, they try to improve their CV. So these are issues. These are about us as Nigerians.
Okay. Pat in Port Harcourt. Good afternoon. Good morning. Good morning,
Hello,
Pat.
Good morning.
Thank you for calling in.
Man is telling you to believe him because it's somebody that I know. Good morning. Anything this man is telling you, you believe him, eh?
Okay.
It's somebody that I know very well. And see Abonko, have a very good day.
Okay. That was just an encouragement there. Say, look, believe that man. He's very, very serious on the job, on especially electoral matters.
Yes,
I said it at the beginning.
We do have a choice, because if you're talking about good governance, if you want good governance starts with good elections. If you are comfortable with your electoral process, then you'll be comfortable with the election. And if you know if it's your vote that really counts, that brings in any government, then you do everything possible to support that government. Because we brought him in, we must support him. But if you feel, no, we didn't vote for him, it was rigged, no matter what you do, they will not support you.
That's right.
You will be castigated and opposed until the end of the day. Even when they say any good policy, they will oppose the policy. So we need to come back to our electoral process. let people see. And that's why we are doing all this advocacy. That's why people must know. Even sometimes if you don't know, it's very important. The knowledge now is key for people to know that, okay, what is this process all about? When people talk about this transmission thing, and I look at it, that's the simplest part of the process. The most difficult is the accreditation, which Beavers has brought. Mazi talked about apathy, voter apathy. You see, one of the areas that cause what you call voters apathy are the area of exclusion that we are trying to relate with now. People in detention, in police cells are there. You know that many number of people are in police cells that are not even able to vote. You know how many people in prison that are not able to vote. People on essential services that are not able to vote. People that could not collect their PVC. Because they could not collect their PVC, they were not able to vote. So by the time you remove all these bottlenecks and all these people are able to vote, then you see the number increase. Secondly, many of the information, the data we have need to still be cleaned up. Many people are dead, many people are no longer existing, many people have traveled. You see, there's a lot of dead data that we have on that system. And the law is like, you cannot say because I feel someone is dead. If you don't report dead, you cannot remove it.
That reminds
people who have traveled, you cannot remove it on this unless they say, okay, I'm no longer going to vote again.
How about this reminds me of the replacement of members without by-elections.
Yes.
That can happen.
Yes, what we are trying to do now is because...
I beg your pardon. Temitokwe, apologies. Temitokwe in Akwa Ibom has called in. Good morning, Temitokwe. Go ahead, please.
Good morning, Uncle Yori.
Good morning, sir.
The Honorable Chairman.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you for this platform that you always giving to Nigerians for us to hear our views. My contribution is in twofold, sir. Starting what we do about when somebody, like the case of Edo State, that the governor, presently, and the deputy governor are both serving members of the National Assembly before transition.
Yes, I heard you. Please continue.
Okay, sir. That why do we waste taxpayers' money so much? It can be part of the electoral reform that maybe whoever comes second in the party primary transition automatically, rather than spending bogus and
he's talking about the area we just raised now.
Education and all that thing that needs a developmental effort. Then the second one, sir, is touching parties that are registered, that they don't have the intention to gain power, to just make a name. At the end of the day, we are going abroad printing A4 paper, printing A3 as ballot papers. We must look, the electoral reforms too must look into pruning those political parties to those that have the serious intention of gaining power and not for social media effect. Thank you, Uncle Yori. Regards to our guests.
Thank you very much.
Well, I'm very happy because it's just talking about what we are just about to raise.
Yes.
Replacement of members without by-elections. Because what we are looking at is like people continue to aspire. If there's a vacancy what we realize is that for any vacancy, any by-election, there's another 1 or 3 other by-elections to follow. If there is opening, like what happened in Edo now, the senator resigned and the House of Rep member too resigned to contest for the governorship and the vice deputy governorship position. Now their positions were advertised, were even contested on Saturday. I'm sure those who contested for them could be maybe House of Assembly member or another. Even there was one of our members that tried to contest for the Senate, but probably he was told to step down for a new person. If he had gone, that means the House of Rep position too would have been vacant. Then, if another House of Assembly member contests for the House of Reps, that means the House of Assembly position will also be vacant. There will be continuous by-elections. It would be too expensive for us to be doing. And this last election, we had about 16 by-elections. Last year, we had some. There will be continuous by-election. His proposal is one of the options we had, that probably the first runner-up in his party or for the election will be used. You actually got that as a proposal. Yes, there are a lot of barriers for consideration. Some people will say, if you tell them that the next first runner-up will be sworn in, that means Ayakila will be on rampage. So can't kill whoever wins.
All right, we'll go to
No, these are issues. These are discussions.
Practical things that you grapple with.
Yes, sir.
Okay, let me bring in Alhaji Subai, who is calling in from Alimosho. Good morning, Alhaji.
Thank you very much, Sayori. Good morning.
Good morning.
Greeting to your guests.
Indeed, he can hear you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. You see, my question is straightforward. My concern is on election day. That is combining the election in one day. You remember in Nigeria here, we have a lot of problems in terms of logistics, in terms of error or whatever, or whatever they complain. But at the same time, even in America, you remember that in America they do advanced voting. We are not yet there. So this is where I'm concerned with, doing the election in one day. You see, when people is talking about, a cost of conducting election or no election, it is when we have the technological know-how that we can be talking reducing costs. Now we have not gotten to that stage. We have to. All we want is success of the election. So I'm not in support of conducting both the presidential or everything in one day in Nigeria. It's based on our position because of the error, based on the past experience and what we're experiencing as of now.
But that has
that has pros and cons.
That has its pros and cons. Alhaji Subaya.
That's why
it has its pros and cons, and that's why they said let it go to public hearing.
So just like what we were saying, what we are now proposing on the issue of the by-election is that since it's the party that wins the election, then any vacant position, apart from a recall, you go back to the party that wins the election, then to go and redo their primaries.
Okay.
Then the candidate, you do your primaries according to Section 84 as stipulated in the Electoral Act, then the name of the winner will now be sent directly to INEC and a certificate of return issued for the person. So it will not be an internal issue for the party that owns the ticket. Okay. So that's what we finalize by the time we look at various options, because if you are saying to go back to the party, primaries will be done, so nobody will say, I'm sure that I'll be the one that will benefit from the primaries. But it's sure where you say the first runner-up of an election should be automatically be sent in, so a beneficiary is known. And you are putting the life of the winner at risk. In jeopardy. So those are a lot of issues. And now on the one-day election. Single-day election. Yes,
a logistical situation.
We're looking at about saving costs. We're proposing probably one-day election. You see, one thing that is so dynamic about law is sometimes you finish a law today, before you go to bed and come back, you find out there is another problem. By the time we concluded on the issue of one-day election, which I believe in, because that means going to reduce the cost of INEC running an election for 2 days.
But won't it be a logistical nightmare?
Well, we are looking at it, but what now even compounded it more now is the issue of the gender bill that we've also passed. So it would have been 5 elections in one day, because the first one is going to be 3, the president, the senate, and the rep, then the governor and the assembly on the second day. But now what we are going to now have, instead of that 5 now, will now be the senate gender, the reps gender, and the assembly gender. Because what we're proposing is that for every state there will be 1 senator for women, 1 House of Reps for women, and in the state assembly there will be 1 per senatorial district for women. That means there will be 3 additional elections for women. So that means it's going to be now 8 elections. 8 elections in a day. And again, there's also this amendment that candidates are also saying that most of the time some dead agents of the party do compromises. Agent of the party compromises during the election. So they want candidates to nominate polling agents. That means if you want party to candidate to nominate polling agents, that means in an election with 8 elections, that means there will be 8 candidates, that means 8 agents per candidate times number of parties on that ballot. If you have 20 parties on that ballot, times 8, that will be 160 agents in one polling unit. How chaotic that could become. So these are issues now. But you see, when people bring it in, because sometimes we don't know the implication of some of the things we bring for. So by the time we now see the implication, is this viable? Is this visible? How can we manage it? Then interested groups will come in, will look at it during the public hearing. If at the end of the day people say, no, we feel it's still better, okay, that's all the way we will follow. Okay. We are not to dictate to you. We are to listen to what you feel. And that's why the beauty of democracy, that you can change your law at any point in time when you feel it's no longer valid.
And what you're saying now is essentially what you are saying to Alhaji Subai, you know, on his position that I don't really think voting for the president is in one day. You know. It's
not about what I think. He has posed in a position. Let others who will come, and that's why we are saying we want to get a questionnaire out to the people so that we can physically see.
He was the person saying that his own personal opinion is that
on different days that it won't work.
Yes, because of the logistical aspects of it.
Yes, that's his position. Let other positions too come together so that we'll see the people with the highest number. That is the important thing. It's about the number. Democracy is about number.
It is.
It's not about how I feel. It's not we are not the one making the law. We are making it on your behalf. And people must understand that. So you must speak when it's necessary. When we go call for public hearing, if you belong to any group that's supposed to be there, please volunteer, go and put your view.
You know, we've almost run out of time, and it's always very interesting when we're talking about this thing. Yeah, you'll be surprised. The election timetable. You know, that's
one of that's one major issue, and because of the dynamism, we are first of all trying to remove it from the Constitution, because it's the Constitution that dictates the timeline.
Okay.
So we are trying to remove it from the Constitution section 285. We are trying to remove it from the Constitution and put it in the Electoral Act. It's easier to amend it in the Electoral Act, and some of them too will make it at the discretion of INEC.
Okay.
Because we should be very careful, because so you make a law today and tomorrow you find out that there's still a flaw. If you remember the petroleum PIA, the day we approved it, the following day Mr. President had to return it back for further amendments. You see, you continue to see amendments.
Okay.
The law should be dynamic.
You know, I want to thank you very much, Honorable Adebayo Olusegun Balogun, Chairman, House Committee on Electoral Matters, for coming along and giving us this preview of the work, the state of progress on the work, and also giving us an idea of, you know, what the whole lie of the ground is. Thank you very much. You always do this, and we really appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, then. So we're going to have to leave it here today. Do please join us tomorrow for a fresh edition. I am Yori Folani. Bye-bye for now.